Good evening. I'd like to call our meeting to order, and we'll stand and do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening. I'll have the clerk please call the roll.
Supervisor Fountain?
Here.
Treasurer Horning?
Here.
Clerk Schofield? Here. Trustee Collier?
Here.
Trustee Germain? Absent. Trustee Harper? Here. Trustee Petrucci?
Here. Thank you. Item number 4 is approval of our meeting agenda.
So moved.
Support. Motion by Treasurer Horning, second by Trustee Harper. Any discussion?
Just wanted to note that you got the updated consent agenda where the Heritage Park agreement was removed. I want to make sure everybody was clear on that.
Any comments or discussion? Being none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. Item number 5 is call to the public. Anybody at call to the public this evening? Being none, we'll move on to item number 6, which is approval of our consent agenda.
I'll move taking out, is it F that you're taking out?
It was already removed from the agenda.
Okay.
That is current.
So I'll move. Support.
Motion by Trustee Petrucci, second by Trustee Harper. Any discussion? Being none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. Item number 7A is a public hearing. This is for the Special Assessment District 200 Resolution of Determination. This is a requirement through the Livingston Regional Sewer District to include a SAD opportunity for those within 200 feet of the existing force main. We offer this to folks to get involved with it, and they will be on a SAD. Is it for 15 or 20 years, James?
20 years.
20-year SAD, and those that aren't going to be part of the SAD would have to connect at the existing rate of that sewer tap and have to pay it in full if there was ever a failure or if they ever were to build on that location, correct?
Yes.
So that is what the public hearing is about this evening. I'd entertain a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Trustee Germain, second by, Trustee Kalani, second by Trustee Horning, or Treasurer Horning. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The public hearing is open. Anybody from the audience that has any comments is free to come up and say anything you would like to. The microphone is open for your public hearing. It doesn't look like anybody is going to speak at the public hearing. At this point, I'd like to close the public hearing.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Trustee Harper, second by Clerk Schofield. Is there anything else, James, that we have to do at that public hearing? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. Public hearing is closed. Item number 7B is a resolution of the filing of the special, we opened the public hearing. Now we have to do the resolution of determination. There's actually two resolutions.
I'll move resolution of determination to make public improvements, sufficiency of petitions, approval of plans and estimates of cost, final determination of special assessment district, preparation of special assessment roll, sewer improvement special assessment district 200-foot resolution number 2.
Support. Motion by Treasurer Horning, second by Trustee Kalani. Is there any discussion?
I just have one question. There was some things that came up at the some folks had some questions regarding the assessment roll. Were those resolved?
Yeah, that'll be Lake Tyrone, and
the next.
This is the 200-foot ones. But in advance, yes, those were all resolved.
If there are no other comments or questions, I'll have the clerk please call the roll.
Trustee Collier?
Yes.
Trustee Germain?
Yes.
Trustee Harper?
Yes.
Trustee Petrucci?
Yes.
Supervisor Fountain?
Yes.
Treasurer Horning?
Yes.
Clerk Schofield? Yes.
Thank you. And item 7B is a special assessment 200 resolution of filing of special assessment roll. This is also a resolution. Do you have that up, Kathy? Okay.
My computer went down. I don't know what the issue is. It keeps restarting. I don't know.
It says resolutions have different numbers. but the same resolution.
You know, I could go right in.
Go ahead.
I'll move resolution of intent to make the sewer improvements ratification of prior township action, tentative designation of special assessment district, and notice of public hearing.
Second.
Motion by trustee Harper, second by treasurer Horning. Is there any discussion? Being none, I'll have the clerk please call the roll.
Trustee Petrucci?
Yes.
Trustee Germain?
Yes.
Clerk Jokers, yes. Supervisor Fountain?
Yes.
Treasurer Horning?
Yes.
Trustee Collier?
Yes.
Trustee Harper? Yes.
Thank you. Item number 8A is the Lake Tyrone Sewer Act 185 contract, the second amendment.
So this, the first order of business, we did have one vacant property owner who would like to opt into the district, and in order to facilitate that, we had to redo the percentages between the two townships, and this does that.
And James, just so I'm following the correct, is this an amendment to that? A second amendment?
Yeah, this is the second amendment. The first amendment was because the project cost, the bids came in, and they had to do an amendment for that. This is the second
This
amendment.
tightened everything up from the last meeting then.
This is just for that vacant property owner coming in to recalculate percentages.
So I'll move the second amendment to Livingston County Lake Tyrone Sanitary Sewer Drain Improvements Contract.
Second.
Motion by treasurer Horning, second by trustee Germain.
Yes.
Any discussion? Being none, I'll have the clerk please call the roll.
Treasurer Horning?
Yes.
Trustee Germain?
Yes.
Trustee Harper? Yes. Trustee Collier?
Yes.
Supervisor Fountain?
Yes.
Trustee Petrucci?
Yes.
Clerk Jokers, yes.
Thank you. And item number 8B is the Lake Tyrone SAD, confirming the SAD role.
So it did go down overall because of the vacant property, and the calculations were sped and everything was confirmed.
So James, if you can just help me out, just so again I'm following the right,
You should find
this
that.
be under B, resolution and attachments?
Yeah, in your packets,
It's 8B. Then it's got resolution printout.
yeah, your resolution at the bottom of page 190, it's the beginning of that resolution, and then there's also a Word copy of that in there duplicated, so either one of those.
Again, just so I want to make sure we're on the same one. There's one that says resolution confirming the special assessment role for the 2015 Lake Tyrone Special Assessment District.
Correct.
But the date that's on that says November, the one I have says November 1, 2014.
Right, that's one of the recitals, just giving a provenance of this issue.
Before you get to this date?
Yeah, it's just telling you all the things that have happened till then.
Okay.
Till now.
All right. Any questions from the board? If there aren't any, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move resolution confirming special assessment role for the 2015 Lake Tyrone Special Assessment District.
Support.
Motion by trustee Harper, second by trustee Kalani. Any discussion? Being none, I'll have the clerk please call the roll.
Trustee Germain?
Yes?
Treasurer Horning?
Yes.
Trustee Petrusi? Yes. Clerk Schofield, yes. Supervisor Fountain?
Yes.
Trustee Collier?
Yes.
And Trustee Harper.
Yes.
Thank you. Item number 9 is board manager reports. We are in our second meeting in June. Trustee Petrusi.
Just want to bring the board up to date. I don't know if you know that, you probably heard that Kevin Gentry, fire chief at Green Oak, who is also the Hartland Deerfield Fire Authority legal counsel, was hit by a car out on US 23. He's doing fine. He had some broken ribs and other broken bones, but he is doing fine and he's recovering. Just wanted to bring you a little bit up to date on that. That's all I have.
Thank you. Clerk Schofield.
No report.
Treasurer Horning.
This Saturday at the Hartland Farmers Market will be the 4th of July, and it is going to be open, and a Girl Scout troop is going to be there collecting canned goods and food for Gleaners Food Bank. So if anybody's coming out to the market, it'd be great to support these girls working for a summer project.
Thank you. Trustee Kalani.
I don't have the agenda up here because I can't get on.
Want me to come back to you? Or?
No.
Okay.
I just want to give an update on the Planning Commission. We had preliminary plan come before us with regard to the developer that is developing behind Venture Church, which is formerly known as the River Church. And it came before us, but we had some questions because several questions, but one of them that this board had wanted the developer to look into was potential connectivity to the property on the west side of the property that is also connected to Hacker. The idea being, of course, that if the two developers can get together, perhaps there's an opportunity where the second entrance that's required for that development could exit out towards Hacker Road. And there are several items on that the Planning Commission looked at, but one of the concerns we had was that there hasn't been a whole lot of communication between the two developers, and we're hoping that between now and in the short term, that there's some conversation there, that maybe that'll be an opportunity to allow for that connection to Hacker Road. I think it really is more of a timing issue that I know there's been some discussions with Chairman Fox and our Director of Planning, Dave, meeting with the developer, and I know there's a way of working that out. There's no loss in a lot in terms of what they're proposing to do. More basically, right now they do have two entrances in and out, but if they were to be able to make a connection towards the north end of that lot, it would take out a lot, but it would be able to be replaced by the next lot that would have been otherwise removed. So I know I've just kind of given you an update on that. There's still some other things that they need to work on. I think that's if that's a possibility, and we may be able to work out our plan development agreement in such that it might be a timing issue. If the other developer that's located on Hacker Road is not able to do some certain things in order to accomplish that within a time period, then we may lose that opportunity to have that connection made. So I want to give an update on that.
Okay. Thank you. Trustee Germain.
Thank you, Supervisor Fountain. I would like to give a shout out to those who arranged for the meeting that was held yesterday evening with Commissioner Domas from Livingston County and Hartland Moms, and Under Sheriff Mike Murphy. The open meeting held yesterday evening was to discuss the ways that Hartland Township residents can remain safe, and to talk to some degree about improvements to make our township safer and the role that the Sheriff's Department might have in helping us accomplish those goals. So I thought that was a good use of our time yesterday. And then secondly, I would like to still encourage the rest of my Hartland Township board members to consider holding a our own meeting prior to our retreat that's coming up in August, when we'll be primarily talking about the long-range plans for our next 2 years. I believe that, we're certainly making a lot of good progress as a board, but we have some heavy decisions to make regarding how we're going to spend our capital improvement funds and other township expenses. And I just think it would be good for us to have a chance to vet some of those things out in advance.
Thank you. Trustee Harper?
No report.
Just briefly, I did attend the General Assembly for SEMCOG last week with anticipation of hearing the Detroit mayor speak, and he canceled at the last few minutes. So I took it upon myself to sign up our delegate to several different, no, just kidding, Joe, I wouldn't do that to you. But it was well attended. I was at the Detroit Zoo, and it's been a long time since I've been to the Detroit Zoo, and it's actually a nice asset to our community. And they gave some nice presentations to those who have been part of that. So look forward to being part of SEMCOG. They were excited to see us as part of that as well, and I think that's going to be a potential opportunity down the road when we look at road and interconnectivity to the I was calling cart paths, but the bike paths. And
Bill, I want to thank you for attending that on my behalf. We had spoken that due to a conflict, I couldn't attend that meeting.
Yeah, so that worked out well. And the Chamber Carnival starts on the 8th or 9th. It's not this weekend.
It's a Thursday.
10th, 11th,
The
12th.
9th.
Starts on a
So it
Thursday.
starts on the 9th.
So it'll be July 9th. yeah.
Not this weekend, but the following weekend. So look for those. I was getting some work done on my car today, and there were some flyers around. So there's coupons available, and it's a very nice family event. Manager Wickman, your report?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. I had some notes, but I just remember it's been a while since we had a regular meeting. I wanted to acknowledge and congratulate the high school baseball team for winning the state championship, and several of the spring sports went deep into the playoffs, and it was a fun time to watch that. I will note that our next strategic plan, next big discussion after we hopefully get through the meat of the CIP this evening is policy. I've done some work to compile board policies and try to provide some structure to it based on an MTA model that they suggest, and I will be pushing that out to you here before the end of the week to look at over the next month, and when we get back together in August, we'll want to dive into that together, and I look forward to that discussion. Next month as well, I would like to extend an invitation to board members who'd like to go on business retention visits. We just had some discussion today, and this isn't something we've talked about before. I think there could be some value for anybody who'd like to just have a little thing we take to the businesses with some messaging that on our business communication efforts, and promoting the brand that we're rolling out. And we'd be happy to have board members that'd like to go along with Sharon. She can help schedule those. If you just have an hour or two, we have a couple hundred brick and mortar businesses. We've got them all figured out in blocks, and just do as you can. So she'll be coordinating a reach out to you for anybody who'd like to do that. It could be a good opportunity.
Can I have a question regarding that? What sort of things will you be what would be the topics of discussion when you go out to these?
So it's just because they're sort of cold calls, if you will. We tried to do these in the past by making appointments. We found that it's just easier to try to drop by and leave contact information if they have follow-up questions. It's just certainly a hello and a reach out from their township officials, and as their elected officials, I'm sure they would value your coming along as well. Sharon is a specialist of ours in customer engagement, and so she's a great face for that. To have you there with her would be all the better. And just to see how things are going, just to ask how business is going, what is it about, the Hartland community that attracted them there, keeps them there, and what are things that, we should be thinking about. And then we have, as Trustee Cleany mentioned, we thought that those applicants at the last PC meeting might potentially need a special meeting in the first part of July. As he indicated, that's not the case at this point, so I know I put that out there. That potentiality was there. We don't see that need now, so our next regularly scheduled meeting will be that first Tuesday in August at this point. You have in front of you a mock-up of the sign for the butterfly garden. The Rotary Club has asked the board for the board feedback on the copy itself. They don't have specifics on the size or the mounting or how tall or anything like that. That, of course, will come back for the township blessing at a future point. They just like to know if the copy is acceptable to the board, and then they'll come back with more. If you have any thoughts on that, I guess you can let me know now or later.
James, not only do I think the sign is really nice, I wish you'd pass along how much, it's really a beautiful project. It looks great. Please thank those people that were involved.
Sure.
It's really nice.
And there will be they'll be doing a formal dedication of it in August. I don't have the date right in front of me, but we'll certainly publicize that when the time comes. They would certainly love to have the officials and staff attend that. And then the last thing I wanted to know out of the operational reports was if you've been down Blaine Road, the gravel section, I think that project's just about wrapped up with the road commission. And just, I think, a good testament to some early conversation we had about those agreements with the road commission. And although there isn't a scope that was defined, you could see that I think they leveraged the best use of the dollars for some good important drainage improvements, a good compact surface to drive on going forward. So I know our Public Works Director is putting together a little bit more information for you to look at, but driving down it, it tells the story just as well, and I wanted to recognize that was a good partnership there. So I don't have any other notes unless you have questions.
Any board members have any comments? Being none, it's the end of our regular meeting. We'll take a brief recess, and then we will start our discussion on our capital improvement plan.